valuable insights about sales, designing, and model making. This is the last session of the first talk series, and we'll be back soon with series 2. For this session, we have Professor Meera Malegaonkar. She's a professor at Urban Design Cell, British College of Architecture, Mumbai. She holds a master's degree in Urban Management and Development from the Institute of Housing Studies near Erasmus University, Rotterdam. She's into urban journalism and storytelling. She's interviewing important policymakers like the UN Habitat World Urban Forum, WUF 9 2018, and WUF 10 2020. We welcome you, ma'am. I would request you all to keep your mics on mute and please try to be concise with the questions, which we will be taking at the end of this lecture. Ganesh has been a co-faculty of British College of Architecture. He has opened new doors to learning and teaching, right from intricate details of building construction to small queries and services. He holds the chair of Design Cell in British College of Architecture, also holds a firm called Ganesh Kamath and Associates, and he has a teaching experience for the last 25 years. We welcome you, sir. Now I will hand over to Ganesh to please take over.
Thank you, Manthan.
Thank you, Manthan. I welcome everyone for the lecture by Meera Malegaonkar. She has been the professor at Urban Design Cell, British College, and she has achieved into research and has a lot of topics for publication. Our topic today is on plagiarism and creation, and she is going to talk about the challenges faced due to the onslaught of internet, wherein everything is available at the click of a mouse. So she is going to talk about ethics, and moreover, she is going to tell what is right and what is wrong, and how to follow personal and academic ethics. I now hand over to Meera to start the session.
Thank you, Ganesh sir. Thank you, Manthan. Hope I am audible enough.
Yeah, very
yes, ma'am.
Yes. So thank you, Manthan. Thank you, Ganesh sir. Earlier we had array of some webinars here, and they were really interesting. Karim talked about urban design. Shruti talked about so many stories and fables, etc., etc. And now, from that interesting thing, we are jumping to something which is essential. I was hearing one TED talk, and that academic was saying that in colleges, now everything, all the knowledge is available with the click of mouse. So what is educator's role? Educator's role is not to spoon feed, but to nurture the creativity, and second thing, most importantly, to introduce them to literacy of many things. So we are going to make you literate in many things. For example, technically, you might not be knowing how the building structure works. So we are here to make you literate how to find the knowledge about it. So there are few things which are necessary and there are few things which are interesting. So I suppose that the topic I am going to talk about it might be or might not be interesting, but it is necessary certainly, and everybody should be aware of it. What is plagiarism and how to avoid it, right? Ganesh sir, I am not able to hear it. I mean, am I audible enough?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, but can you just adjust your mic because your voice is breaking, ma'am?
Okay, I think I'll remove the mic otherwise.
And
now whether it is better without mic?
But there is a lot of description. Yeah.
There's a lot of disturbance.
There is a lot of disturbance. So with mic it was better?
Yes, ma'am. You can use your mic.
And is your video on, ma'am?
No video. I'm not seeing myself.
I think so, ma'am. You need to start video because we cannot see you. Now we can see you. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you. Can you just wait a minute? I'll just switch off the fan, etc., so that the background
sure.
noise will not be there.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Okay, so I have adjusted my mic a bit. So I hope that you will be able to hear me now properly.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
hear
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Okay, so we are going to talk about plagiarism and what is difference between creativity and plagiarism. Okay, I'm not. My screen is not changing, Manthan.
You can see your screen. Don't worry. It will take time.
We can just see the poster.
I touched, but it is not changing. Yeah,
Yeah.
now it has changed.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so everybody must be aware that this year there was supposed to be Olympic in Tokyo. 2020 is the Olympic year. Okay, and then for that Olympic, they have created a logo. Okay, but what happened? That they run into a row. You can see my screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So okay, so for 2020 Olympics, the organizer committee they actually had a competition where they invited lot of design for that logo. And what you can see on the left side, one red dot, Japan flag red dot, and that Tokyo 2020, that design was selected. But it ran into problem because a theater company in Belgium actually they claim that their logo and the logo designed by Tokyo Olympic Committee it is very similar. So you can see on the right side there is a logo of Theater the League. Can you see the logo of Theater the League?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see it is so much similar. Theater the logo, there's logo. It has got one line and then you have circle and then the two triangle which are cut by the circle. And even Tokyo Olympic, it is exactly same thing. What they have done, they have added one red dot. That is all. Otherwise, it is so much similar. So there was a law case. It was a case. They had a lot of legal fight, and finally, Tokyo Olympic Committee they had to cancel their logo. Their logo was trashed, and this is called as plagiarism. What is plagiarism? You are claiming somebody else's work as your own. So it can be different type of plagiarism. You can the idea must be of somebody else's and that you are claiming yours, or there must be some invention or text. So anything, for that matter, any intellectual property which is somebody else's that you claim wrongfully it is yours without giving the due respect or due reference to the person who has propagated that idea, then it is counted as plagiarism. So Tokyo Olympic Committee, they had to cancel this logo. Okay. Now, Tokyo Olympic Committee, you can see there are so many news which were flashed during that time. Tokyo scrap logo after losing plagiarism law, etc., etc. This is the news screenshot then. Okay, so one matter they solved. Okay, finally they scrapped the logo and then they had one competition for their stadium. And that competition was actually won by renowned architect Zaha Hadid, late Zaha. So Zaha Hadid actually was winner of that competition and she started working on that project. But what happened? That Japanese architects, they claim that Zaha Hadid's architecture or the stadium design, it is very, very expensive and Japan cannot afford it. That is why they claim. And then there was a lot of fight between Zaha Hadid and the Olympic Committee, etc., etc., etc. And then Japanese architect collided with Olympic Committee, and finally they outstayed Zaha Hadid. Zaha Hadid, even if she was winner of the Olympic design, stadium design, she was not allowed to take that project ahead. And instead of that, they have appointed something else. The Japanese architect called as Kenzo Kuma. he was appointed as the architect for that project, Tokyo Olympic Committee. This is the screenshot of the news which appeared in 2012. Okay, so Zaha Hadid, of course, naturally she was very, very upset. And then what she found out that the design, what she had done for the Olympic Stadium, and the design what the Japanese architect proposed, it is very, very similar. You are aware that Zaha Hadid's design, they are all streamlined designs. So her elevation or whatever the her architecture, it is unique style. They are all streamlined design, etc. So what this Japanese architect had done, the outer area, outer design they have changed, but they have not changed the planning part. So even if visually these two designs they don't look same, but planning wise they are same. They are much similar. What they did, they have taken her design, her planning, etc., etc., and then they converted into their design. Modern, they changed material, everything. They changed outside, they changed, but lot of things. Planning, concept, how she resolved the design, so many things they actually kept as it is from her design. So of course she was upset, and then there was a lawsuit between Zaha Hadid and the Olympic Committee. And then that lawsuit went on and on and on, and meanwhile Zaha Hadid is no more. So finally this Olympic Stadium is complete. But I think karma never misses karma. Every time karma actually strikes back. So even if the stadium is now complete, which is called as Plagiarized Stadium, but Tokyo Olympic now it's cancelled because of Corona. So they had lot of plagiarism problem. One, they had to cancel the logo, and now they had, even if they have constructed this stadium, which is supposed to be plagiarized by Zaha Hadid's design, but now Olympic itself is cancelled. But this is something, it was, the design was intellectual property of Zaha Hadid, and it was intellectual property of the Belgian theatre design theatre company. And blatantly these people, even if they are supposed to be first world country, and they should have respected their intellectual property, whoever the architect was or the artist was, the logo designer, but they have not done. So what I mean to say is this problem of stealing somebody else's intellectual property is global. This is not very specific to India. And India, this is also very blatantly there, because many people, what happened, anybody? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
You can hear me. I thought somebody is talking. Somebody wanted to ask me something.
No, ma'am. You can go ahead.
Okay. So this problem is a global problem, and in India, actually we are not used to actually honor somebody's intellectual property. We keep on hearing how blatantly our film, the songs, they are plagiarized from West. There are n number of examples, but I'll not go into that. But one or two examples I would like to show. This is one of the example of plagiarism. You are aware, this news person, he is very famous news person in CNN, America. And he was actually suspended because he plagiarized one article from another person's article. And then he was suspended from CNN's, he was actually host of CNN, very high flying host, but then he was suspended. Now after so many years, he is again back, but then he had to face lot of lawsuit, etc., etc. In America or in Western world, they actually don't take this plagiarism lightly. It is taken very, very serious. Now, we are here in the lockdown. Are you aware of this lady who is displayed on the screen? She is economist Shamika Ravi. She was part of Modi government's Economic Advisory Council. She is PhD from Harvard and she is the professor in ISB, Indian School of Business, which is very high-end school in India. It is one of the best school in India for the business. So she was professor in ISB. Later on, she became the member of Modi government's Economic Advisory Council. She is economist and statistician. And then she is a researcher as well as the fellow, distinguished fellow as the Brookings Institute. Brookings Institute India and Brookings Institute Global. Both their verticals are there and she is part of both. So she is one of the she is one of the high-end economists in India. You must have seen, whenever we have this discussion about this coronavirus, now everybody is now used. Every day she prepares the map, etc., etc. So we are all used to see the maps of Miss Shamika Ravi. And because of this coronavirus pandemic, as well, she came in limelight because her visibility increased like anything. Every TV panel, every TV discussion or academic discussion regarding coronavirus, and she has to be there. And of course, she is intelligent and she has done a lot of research also. But then, what happened? That she has written an article for Indian Express. It was about the recovery plan in economic recovery plan of India. And somehow people found out that large part of her article, research article, it has taken from another economist called as Karthik. And some part of the article, it was taken from the Nobel laureate Paul Romer. Paul Romer has written the article about the recovery of American economy. And people found out that Miss Ravi, even if she is very well respected lady and she herself is economist, but blatantly she has plagiarized that article. And then of course there was a lot of noise, etc., etc. And even if she is very well connected, but she had to face trouble. Brookings Institute distanced itself from her. ISB distanced itself from her. All the portals or the magazines or journals, wherever she has written her articles now, which were plagiarized, and it's very easy nowadays to find out the plagiarism. Indian Express withdrew the article, other people also withdrew the article, and everybody distanced herself. Now she is very well she is highly connected person, politically and otherwise. So she didn't have to go through lawsuit, etc. But still, her reputation, few days back, she was on top of the world. Everybody was respecting her. Everybody was actually waiting for her graphs and figures and her analysis about the coronavirus pandemic. And now she is like fallen hero kind of thing. Her reputation, etc., etc., is gone to dust. So this on the screen you can see right side there is article of Paul Romer. He is a Nobel laureate and he has written about the roadmap to responsibly open America. And Ms. Shamika Ravi, what she did, she has taken that article and then changed little bit context. She changed, and as it is, she created. I mean, she has written the article about Indian recovery plan of Indian economy. So obviously, this is the screenshot of one of the newspaper which is coming. So you can clearly see I have highlighted the things that she was Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council, but she has blatantly plagiarized economist Karthik Muralidharan, and then she has plagiarized Paul Romer, and now her reputation is to the dust. So this can happen to very, very high-flying people like Shamika Ravi, who are really well connected. So this is fine. This is about reputation. But what law says about it? Is there any regulation? Is there any rule in India? We had the old law of Copyright Act or patent, etc., etc. But they are not specifically for your academic writing. It is not specifically for plagiarism. So whether we have the law or we don't have the law, let us find out. These are some more screenshots of, you can see amid plagiarism pro, Indian Business School distances itself from Shamika Ravi. So all the institutes who were taking pride that Shamika Ravi is with us, now they have all distanced themselves from Miss Ravi. Now I am not, see, in any sense, I am not insulting her, and because I have read lot about her and I have read her articles. So forget about the articles which are plagiarized, but otherwise her articles, they are really, she does really good analysis and her intellectual depth is very good. But such highly intellectual person also is tempted to take some, why somebody is tempted to do all these things? Because research is done very, very painstakingly. You have to collect the data, you have to formulate your research, you have to make your research analysis. So there is lot of effort you have to put when you are talking about research. It is not open. It's not opinion article. When you talk about research, you have to put lot of efforts, and then you cannot produce this research article like news article. And journalists produce the news article like every day they produce news article, and it is their job because they cite the primary sources. But when researcher starts researching, then it has got lot of efforts, etc., etc. But when we want your articles like journalism article, you want your research article to like factory output. Every single day you want to give a research article to this magazine, and then you have lack of time. You cannot put that much effort in your research. And people are tempted, okay, what they think. Many of the elite people, what they think, because they are actually, they are educated out of India, etc., etc. And maybe they are still not understood that because of the globalization, because of the IT revolution, this has penetrated in the villages also. And what the kind of knowledge only she had access earlier, like Paul Romer. I would not have read Paul Romer earlier, but now because Paul Romer's articles are available online, I can read Paul Romer. He is Nobel laureate. I don't need to read the economist, Gallica economist. I don't need to read. I can read directly Paul Romer. I can read directly I can read many people who are very well connected at Intel. I can read Harvard. I can read Saskia Sassen. So obviously, even I am aware of what other people are writing. And these people actually, they forget that now knowledge is no more their feudal this thing. It's not, we also have the access, common people also have the access, and you will be got in no time. They forget. And this is one of the temptations you have to avoid. But this is where, these cases are about the economists of global level. So what you and me or student in architecture, whether we have to think about it? Yes, because at any level, plagiarism is not acceptable. Legally also and morally also. This one more example. The thing is, nowadays what is happening that all the people, earlier the knowledge was their, what I can say, their monopoly, but now it is not that, but still people are not understanding. He is one of the eminent editor of Marathi. He is Girish Kuber. He is the Girish Kuber, I'll say. Because in Marathi, whatever Girish Kuber says, it is the final word. And he did exactly the same thing. There is economist called as Andrew Lillico, and what this, this is alleged. This is not yet proved because this Rao is latest law, it is going on. So I will not comment at whether he has plagiarized, but it is people have accused him that he plagiarized Andrew Lilico's article about economy and he just translated it into Marathi and he published it in his newspaper called as Lok Satta. And then he also gave explanation about it. He said that the global knowledge, he wanted to bring that global knowledge in Marathi. That is why he is actually translating many articles and many knowledge-based things in Marathi, and that is for the people. But problem is, even if you want to make good of people, whether you have taken permission, you can see the screenshot that Andrew Lilico, he clearly says that in his tweet, he did not seek permission. The first I know about this was because people were tweeting about it. So this person Girish Kuber has not taken any permission from the economists, and blatantly he translated, even if his aim was very noble. He wanted that whatever the good articles are there in English or in other languages, he wanted to translate in Marathi. But even if that you are whatever your aim, however noble it is, but it is not acceptable because you have not given credit. When you are translating, you have to give the credit that this article is original article, author is XYZ, and I have translated it. And second thing, not only that, giving credit is one thing, taking permission is another thing. So you have to take permission, and then you have to give credit to the original author. You cannot pretend that somebody else's idea is mine. Okay, that is not acceptable. You can see this headline, गिरीश कुबेरांचं चौर्यकर्म आणि प्रस्थापित माध्यमांनी पाळलेला गुन्हेगारी विश्वातला ओमरटा. Do you know what is omerta? Omerta code. Omerta code, I mean, everybody must have seen this movie, mafia movie, Godfather. So in Godfather, actually this omerta code, this word is from Italy. Though literally meaning is different, but omerta, literally meaning is manliness, etc., etc. But actually omerta code means in mafia world, what happens that even if someone knows that whatever crimes the person has done, but they keep quiet, so that conspicuous quietness is there. It is called as omerta code of silence. So this headline says that because he is from media, fraternity is keeping quiet, and all the fraternity from media, they are keeping quiet and they are shielding him, even if he has plagiarized. And then another example. I mean, I can give 1,000 examples, and there will be 1,000 examples which I don't know, because this problem has become so blatant. And more than the problem must have been there for ages. But now people has got means to find it out. You have got algorithm, you have got softwares, and within 2 minutes you can find what is the origin of image, of text, or whatever the knowledge source is there. You can find out in 2 minutes. Reverse image search करते हो ना आप लोग? So this Neeraj Hatekar, he is the star economist of Mumbai University. He is very, very, very famous among students. His students actually worship him. लेकिन उसके लिए भी, I mean, people started accusing him of plagiarism. क्या हुआ? उसका जो PhD का thesis है, it is accused that he plagiarized from his own wife's research. तो आपको क्या लगता है कि ओके मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड है, उसने किया है रिसर्च तो चलेगा, वो कुछ नहीं बोलेगी, वो नहीं चलेगा. That is not done. Even if the other person, maybe your fast friend, maybe your wife, maybe your girlfriend, but even self-plagiarism, in some cases, even self-plagiarism is not allowed. Because if you have published any book, for example, Rupa के लिए मैंने book बनाया है, okay, and then for Rupa I have written one book. And now I am working with another publisher, the Juggernaut. So if I plagiarize my own book from Rupa has paid me. It is now they have, bought my intellectual property. So I cannot plagiarize even if it is my own book. So in some cases, even your self-plagiarism is not permitted. Forget girlfriend and wife. Okay, fine. And then university panel they found out that he is, he actually has plagiarized. But in our case, in Mumbai University, I don't think they have taken any action. Now he is retired and he is researching in economics and econometry. So that is another issue. But one of the star economists of Mumbai University, he was also accused of plagiarism. On the screen, you can see his book, Principles of Econometrics. So, even if earlier we had Copyright Act or Patent Act, etc., etc., but they are for industry, they are for commercial establishment. I mean, I can have the patent for my product, but I cannot have, but that is not applicable because they are all complicated law. And the people in university, in academia like you and me, it is very difficult for us to actually avoid plagiarism. That is why UGC India, they have come up with the first regulation on academic plagiarism in 2018. Okay, in March 2018, they have come up with this first regulation, and now after they drafted this regulation, they have sent it to the Ministry of HRD, and Ministry of HRD also has approved it. So this regulation is there in place. So this is applicable to all the university under UGC. Our university, all the architecture colleges, they are under UGC. So this is applicable to us. So all the students should read this very, very seriously. Okay, you have to take it seriously. Earlier, okay, so what is this regulation? Ministry has notified the UGC Promotion of Academic Integrity and Prevention of Plagiarism in Education Regulation 2018. The rules were accepted in March 2018 by University Grant Commission of India or UGC. Now, how UGC defines plagiarism? UGC defines the plagiarism as a practice of taking somebody else's work or idea and passing it as your own. मतलब किसी का आइडिया ले लिया और ये सबको बताना कि ये मैंने ही किया है. किसी का आइडिया, I mean you are pretending as if it is your intellectual work. So they have defined, this is their definition, the practice of taking someone else's work or idea and passing it as your own. That is plagiarism. Now they have approved it. So what they have come up? They have come up with the 4 tiers. They have come up with the 4 tiers of regulation. Okay, so this regulation is binding for all the universities in India, and this is applicable to thesis. All the students' work, it is applicable to students as well as faculty equally. Applicable to thesis, articles, book, research paper, and other academic documents. The policy requires university to create departmental academic integrity panel. Okay, and it also mandates institution to create institutional academic integrity panel. Okay, and then higher education institution. Ours is higher education institution. Architecture comes under HER. So all these rules are actually applicable to our college. All higher education institutions will have to develop a policy on plagiarism and get it approved by relevant statutory bodies and display it on their website. So this, as per this regulation, we are supposed to create our own policy of plagiarism in our institution, and we have to display it like we have Vishakha guideline. So वो हम लोग को display करते हैं Vishakha guideline on our website. Similarly, this guideline, we have to make the guideline and we will have to display it on our website. So that, and we have to train our student also. Whoever are admitted in our colleges, we have to make them literate about plagiarism so that they will not indulge in academic plagiarism. This is actually our duty. It is institute's duty. Now this regulation 2 years back, it is actually done. It is passed also. But I am really not knowing whether Mumbai University, how much implementation they have done. Because rules तो हमारे यहाँ 1000 है, but implement कितना हुआ है, whether अपने यहाँ मुंबई यूनिवर्सिटी will have to make this department, तो उन्होंने बनाया है या नहीं बनाया है, and all the colleges under Mumbai University whether they have actually communicated and asked them to make this panel. I am not aware, that I will have to find it out from Farhan. But if no, then immediately we will have to start working on this. Okay, so this policy creates 4 years for addressing the plagiarism. Is screen visible to everybody? Because I can see only half screen. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. We can see the whole screen.
Because मेरे स्क्रीन पे ना वो 10 पॉपअप्स आ रहे हैं Zoom के.
Ma'am, you can offer chat for a while, तो
हाँ.
आपको सब दिखेगा.
अच्छा. अच्छा अभी. Okay, fine. Okay, so what kind of structure is there for this regulation? So they have come up with 4 tiers. First tier is the similarity up to 10% would carry no penalty. This is green zone. ये green zone क्यों है? 10%. Why 10% similarity is acceptable? Because there are many words, many phrases, many definitions. Even if you or me, we are doing, I am using the word plagiarism. You will also use the word plagiarism. Bhatia sir will also use the word plagiarism. So you can't produce the word every time and now when you are writing a research article or thesis or whatever. So that is why they have allowed these common words. They have allowed the 10% similarity. Then you have the second tier. In that, if you have plagiarized more than 10 but up to 40, then there are 2 things. One for student and one for faculty. So student will have to actually resubmit it. If it is found out that he has plagiarized more than 10 but less than 40, then he or she will have to revise the manuscript and resubmit it. And if the faculty member has done this kind of plagiarism, then faculty member will have to withdraw the document. But here also there will be no penalty. If you revise your document and resubmit it, that will suffice. It will not be a punishable offense. But more than 40%, it is the serious offense. 40 to 60% of the document is plagiarized. Then student will have to be suspended for 1 year. You will lose 1 whole year, and faculty member would forfeit an annual pay raise, and he or she will be prohibited from supervising the students for 2 years. For example, if I am actually I am a guide for MArch or BArch thesis, and if I have submitted any research paper and it is found out that I have plagiarized more than 40% but less than 60%, then I will not be allowed to supervise any student for next 2 years. And whatever the pay rise will be there, that also I am not going to get for 1 year. So I have monetary loss also, and then I have punishment also, kind of punishment. Though it is not per se, it's prohibition and not per se punishment. But more than 60%, it is very serious. The students who has plagiarized more than 60% of the thesis, they will be rusticated. So they will be kicked out of the course and they will not be part of this course. A. And if faculty member has done this, then faculty member will lose 2 years of pay increase and 3 years ban on supervising the student. Okay. And now, if it is found out that student or faculty member, they are repeat offender, then repeat offender can be actually judicially, they can be tried, and then they can be disciplinary action can be there, and they can be suspended, or it can be a permanent termination. Okay. So for students, actually it is not, you are not allowed to plagiarize more than 10%. 10 to 40%, you can revise your document. Like for example, first draft, you have submitted the first draft. And then if Shruti is your supervisor, and Shruti will check the document, we have the software we have turned in, or many softwares are there by which you can actually find out what is the percent of your plagiarism. So if she finds out that Manthan ने plagiarize किया है, 35% उसका आ रहा है, so she will give you that document back to Manthan and she will ask him to revise. And in that document, whatever the portions are there, which is plagiarized, वो color से highlight होते हैं, red color, yellow color, whatever color scheme you choose, that portion which you have highlighted, they are highlighted, whatever you have plagiarized. So you can submit the revised document. But in revised document also, if it is found that you have plagiarized, then you can be terminated from the college. Or if I plagiarize and I submit one article which is plagiarized, and if that is by repeat offering, then I can be suspended. So are you clear of all these 4 tiers of plagiarism? I think this will have to display on our website that everybody will be aware of.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are clear with these.
So there are other also. Earlier also I told you that apart from the academic plagiarism, we have other laws like copyright law, patent law, industrial design. It is for industrial design or trademark or geographical indication. You know, आजकल सबको GI टैग मिलता है. बासमती राइस को GI टैग है. हापुस मैंगो को GI टैग है. So all these regulations are there. They were already there in India from law, from British time, but they are not actually applicable to us. So this is the latest law which is applicable to us. This IP Acts of India, this is altogether different topic. So that we will handle somewhere. But just I wanted to share this slide with you. There is one book which is very, very interesting. History of Intellectual Property in 50 objects. So what that author has done, he from the medieval age to today, ancient age to today, right from the Korean to Roman, so many artifacts are there, to Mona Lisa, to Singer machine, to today's IT revolution. So many objects are there. So how the patent, history of patent actually with this object, how the patents were given for these objects, he has come up with the timeline of this thing, intellectual properties. So this is very interesting. So sometime we will do this history of intellectual property in 50 objects. That lecture we will do in some time again, but not today. Okay, so how to avoid plagiarism? Simple thing, copy mat karo. Now we have computers and we are tempted. Okay, मुझे अभी environment के बारे में लिखना है कि how architecture actually is impacting the environment, and there are so many researches available on internet. तो मैं क्या करूँगी? Search command दूँगी, and then I will cut paste from one document. I will cut paste from that another document, and I will put it on my file. So कितना भी cut paste किया, and then even if I try to modify that, but still it is cut paste, and I inadvertently large portion of that cut paste job will be there, which will be plagiarized. So how to avoid it? First of all, you research the subject well, and then you write what is your subjective opinion of that. Okay. So be original. First rule to avoid plagiarism: be original. Second, now if you are researching and you are researching for say Indian architecture from 1947 to 2020, when you are researching, you will study Charles Correa, you will study D.V. Doshi, you will read their books, you will read Rahul Mehrotra, and then you will have to build your argument. And while building your argument, you will have to support your argument. When you are doing a research, when you are writing an article, it is like a court case. Okay, I have put this argument and I have to prove it. तो witness जैसे कोर्ट में प्रूव करते हैं कि ये whatever he is saying is correct because उसकी भी witness है या circumstantial evidence है. In any writing, whatever your argument, you will have to prove it. do that, you will have to refer the articles which are written by eminent persons. So you will have to cite whatever Rahul Mehrotra has said about that topic. If you must, then what you should do? You don't cut paste it. First of all, you read what he is saying, understand what he is saying, and write the concept of that. Write about that concept in your own word. Okay, so that is called as what that is called as? That is called as paraphrasing. What is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is somebody else's idea is there. So you are putting someone else's idea, but in your word. So whether it is plagiarism, no, it is not plagiarism, provided you give due credit. If you give due credit, okay, ये मैंने जो पैराग्राफ लिखा है on Indian architecture, ये राहुल मेहरोत्रा की आइडिया है. He has written in his book XYZ book about this, and that concept actually applies to my concept also. That is why I am referring. So I will have to give due credit. So मैं due credit कैसे दूँगी? I will have to provide the reference, citation. So what is citation and what is reference? Citation, when you are writing a paragraph in main document, you are giving due credit to the author of that idea, propagator of that idea. So that is citation. And in the end of document, when you will be listing out, you will be making bibliography or list of references. Whatever authors or whatever ideas you have used, someone else's ideas you have used to build your argument in the research. Finally, you have those full references. They are all full references. So you have to do what? You have to do citation and you have to do referencing. So when you are citing in your document, it is called as in-text citation. Okay. Sometimes what happens? That something you cannot write in your own word. For example, I have to say Miss van der Rohe. So I had to quote Miss van der Rohe. What he said, less is more. So if I try to put that in my own word, then maybe that force, that meaning of that important phrase, that will be lost. So in that case, small portion, you are allowed to put words of the author as it is. But in that case, you will have to highlight it that these are not my words. I have copied exactly as it is from someone else. Say this is exactly someone else's idea. Then you will have to put it in quotation mark. Okay. So if you put something in quotation mark, plagiarism reading software, they will understand, okay, quotation mark mein hai. They will not count that thing, even if it is exact copy of the original author. They will not count it as plagiarism. So it is very important, and then not only quotation mark, you will have to give the reference author's name also. And okay, so how do you do it? So there are a lot of this thing. Okay, so what we say, be original, then give credit. How you give credit? By citation and by reference. One, you do paraphrasing and put somebody else's idea in your own word. If you cannot, and if you have to have the words exactly as it is, then use quotation. Then, in the end, provide full references for both paraphrased idea as well as idea in the quotation. You give bibliography and list of references. There are many tools for referencing, like EndNote. You must be using EndNote. So EndNote, you can manage all these references and citation. Mendeley is there, Zotero is there, and most importantly, अपना जो Word, Microsoft Word है, it has got excellent capacity to manage all your resources. In Word, you can refer, you can cite. Only thing is you should understand how to cite, what to cite. Okay, that is important. Softwares are available, and now it is with the click of this thing, mouse. You can have, you can have so many YouTube as well as many training videos, but you should know at least basic before doing that. Then there are plagiarism checkers also. Grammarly is there, Turnitin is there. I think Turnitin, this is most famous software. All the academics use it. Swati must be knowing whether our college has got this Turnitin. Swati, is Swati there?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Swati.
Yeah, we don't have Turnitin.
Uh-huh.
There are three actually. Grammarly, Turnitin, and Urkund is there by UnitNet. So there are three softwares which are for the plagiarism checkers. As far as the Mumbai University is concerned, they have asked to take Turnitin or Urkund, but we have not taken any so far.
Okay.
But we
But
have.
now Mumbai University has started working on this regulation. What you
Yeah,
need
yeah, they have working on this.
they have worked.
Most of the universities they have a Urkund because this is subsidized by means of improvement. So mostly people are taking Urkund.
So now when coming session, everybody will be aware of this regulation as well as software. They will be equipped with this software probably, right? Okay.
Regarding the reference tools, you have mentioned about it. Zotero is an open source software, whereas Mendeley is a free, which you directly use it. Like it's like Google.
Actually, I use Mendeley because I find Mendeley very user friendly. You can put all your references in Mendeley. It is free.
And for referencing, you can use even your Word also.
Yes, you can use your Word also. Word is also excellent. But the thing is, Mendeley,
Mendeley is much better.
plus point is that all references you can put it there. They are all saved. PDFs in PDF form. All your references are saved in Mendeley.
Yes.
When you are using Word, then you have to make the directory. Then you have to make. You have to save on your own. But Mendeley, if you save your software, and then I am out of station, I don't have my computer, then I can take someone else's computer and log in into Mendeley, and I access all my references as well as my document. So actually, when I am using Mendeley, I am carrying my own library along with me. It is like Facebook or email. You just have to log in it, and then all the references whatever you have saved, they are all accessible. It is cloud saving. It's like that is why I prefer Mendeley. But Word is also equally good. If you don't, for our kind of work, what we do, architecture, even Word is more than sufficient. Okay, now what? Is this plagiarism only pertaining to words or it includes everything? It includes every single thing. If you are using images, for example, you must be using lot of images, lot of charts, etc. I was showing Shamika Ravi's chart. So if I am writing a research paper and I am using her chart, then below every figure I have to mention the source. Or even if I am making my own chart, then below that chart, I will have to mention the data source. From where I have taken the data. वर्ल्ड इन डेटा, अवर वर्ल्ड इन डेटा नाम का जो अभी डेटा बैंक है ग्लोबल वर्ल्ड, वहां से लिया है, या हमारे मिनिस्ट्री की स्टैटिस्टिकल डिपार्टमेंट से लिया है, या आई हैव सर्च इट ऑन माय ओन. If I have submitted and I have done my own data work, then I will have to write source author, but I will have to write it below the image, whatever the source. So actually, this plagiarism is not limited to words. It encompasses every single thing. Images, figures, graphics, data, film, artwork, every single thing. If you're studying filmography and you are studying 70, 80 films, all those films, you will have to make separate this thing. Reference it of the film, what you are studied and what you are referred in your research, whatever research work you have done. Same thing goes for artwork, even if painting, etc., images. So every single thing, any idea in any form, if you are using it, somebody else's idea, you have to give credit. Now, why you have to give reference? मेरे दिमाग में बहुत सारे आइडियाज है, मैं अगर वो सारे के सारे लिख दूं तो ना प्लेजरिज्म होगा, ना मुझे इतना सारा रेफरेंसिंग एंड बिब्लियोग्राफी करनी पड़ेगी. तो मैं क्यों दूं रेफरेंसिंग? व्हाई आई शुड यूज रेफरेंसेस? Because, as I said earlier, it is like a courtroom. Whatever you are saying, you have to provide the evidence. Okay? And you have to corroborate things, then only you have to prove it. And the reference or the data, jitna, if that source is good, when I am seeing the list of the references, if I am checking Manthan's research, or I am actually reading Rekha ma'am's research on XYZ topic, then first thing what I will do, I'll go to back page and I'll check what references she has used. If Shruti has, if she has used very eminent references, which are actually respected resources, their authenticity is well established, then I will know that her research work will be equally authentic because she has used the authentic data sources, she has used the authentic documents. So what kind of references you are using, that actually impact quality of your own research. So it is very important. कुछ भी इंटरनेट पे 10 लोग आर्टिकल लिखते हैं, किसी का भी ले लिया और वो डाल दिया आपके डॉक्यूमेंट पे, एंड देन यू से कि आई हैव प्रूव्ड माय, दैट डजंट वर्क. इफ दैट सोर्स इज नॉट ऑथेंटिक, then even your authenticity of your work will be questionable. So whatever source you are using, whatever reference you are using, make sure that the source is well established, known, well cited. ये आपको मिलता है गूगल स्कॉलर एक्सेट्रा, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि ये कितने लोगों ने साइट किया. इट हैज टू बी ऑथेंटिक. देन ओनली व्हाटएवर राइट अप यू आर डूइंग, इट विल कैरी एनी वेटेज. जैसे कि श्रुति was actually showing some fables. Okay, in fables she was telling n number of tales. सीता, राम, यहाँ विजिट किया, यहाँ सीता नानी है, वहाँ सीता नानी है. We have so many fables in India. कहीं भी जाओ आपको सीता नानी मिलती ही है. सीता नानी मतलब wherever सीता है बात. Okay, so वो कहीं भी मिलती है. But it is not called as history. Are we going to accept whatever fable Shruti was telling as history? No. They are all myths because they are not documented. History, when some story becomes history, it is proved as history where you get the cross references. For example, Harshavardhan was there, King Harshavardhan was there, and during King Harshavardhan, Chinese scholar visited India, and that Chinese scholar, he has written extensively about Harshavardhan's his kingdom, the way he was writing. In fact, Harshavardhan himself has written many books, Ratnavali and all the fables are there. We have so many myths about Harshavardhan, and many things are corroborated by the Chinese traveler. And then we can say, okay, even if this is folk tale, but this folk tale must be true. It is part of our history because we have evidence that when the Chinese traveler was there, he has seen and he has documented it. So we are actually proving with evidence. So references are important to prove कि whatever it's like, जो myth है उसको history में change कर देते हैं the reference. और for example, in Greek mythology, I can just think of one example that you have so many Greek mythology and so many Greek gods, etc. Like what we have, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Purana. Greeks have so many mythological stories. So out of those all Greek mythological stories, actual palace of King Menos, it was found out. And then with that, they can reconstruct the history and they understood that, okay, these are not only the folk tales, but it is part of their cultural history, not only cultural history, actually some things. इसके लिए you have got this archaeological evidence. They can reconstruct their history. Same thing happened with Egyptians also. that Egyptian, those language, it was not deciphered. But one stone, ये जो है, in Alexandria, it was written in Greek language as well as in their hypoglyphs. So they can actually decipher their language. That similar thing has not happened with our Mohenjo-daro Harappa, but hopefully we will. So my point is, whatever references, whatever documentation you are doing, it is very important to prove your point, and in future it will be part of authentic documentation, which will be part of your contemporary history also. Okay, so I have given this point to show that you understand the topic. References show that you have understood the topic. If I am writing about history and if I have referred the authentic source, eminent people related to that topic, then the reader will understand, okay, this person has understood the topic. He has selected or she has selected this properly. Then to demonstrate that you have read widely and deeply, then आपकी study है ये topic. If I am talking about Aurangzeb and if I am citing Yadunath Sarkar, then nobody will question me. They will say, okay, you have cited Yadunath Sarkar. मेरे पीछे आपको शायद दिखेगा Yadunath Sarkar का Aurangzeb. That if I am citing Yadunath Sarkar, he is eminent historian, and whatever his research on Aurangzeb is so deep and so widely accepted that if I am quoting Yadunath Sarkar in my research article, nobody will question me. So it is important to choose the references properly and to avoid the plagiarism. And importantly, references are giving the credit to the original idea. This paragraph, this idea, I am citing Yadunath Sarkar. So it's not work, it is the similar work by the historian that I am giving due credit. And then on that, their research, I am betting my work. Research or article, they are like a ladder. That earlier people have done so much work, they have reached one level. And I am just going to go one level up. But then I have to climb all those steps and then I have to go further. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. मुझे पहले से reinvent नहीं करना है. If मेरे पहले जो भी काम हुआ है टॉपिक पे, I am going to refer it and then I am going to propagate my own idea, which is addition to whatever is done on that topic, and not something which is already done. ये भी प्रूव होता है, आपके रिसर्च का वैलिडिटी भी उससे प्रूव होता है, यूजफुल है या नहीं. If I have referred many things, तो I will know कि okay ये टॉपिक पे इतना काम ऑलरेडी हो गया है, so मुझे उसके आगे का काम करना है. ये टॉपिक पे ऑलरेडी काम किया है, बाणगंगा पे उन्होंने ऑलरेडी लिखा है कैवान मेहता ने या हर्षद सर ने, तो मुझे उस पे अगर रिसर्च करना है तो उन्होंने जो किया नहीं है उसके आगे करना है, मुझे उन्होंने जो किया है उसके आगे करना है. वही सब मैं लिखूंगी तो व्हाट इज द यूज? It will not be of any use. That research will be of no use. Okay. So when now we are coming to citation cases. Okay. So we have seen what is in-text citation. So first of all, you have to see there are many ways to do citation, and all the sites are correct, but you have to choose it. Your university, I am not aware, Swati must be aware, Risbhi College of Architecture and Mumbai University, they prefer Harvard style or nature style or any other style. But whichever style you choose, you have to basic uske jo hai, it's same. Basic principles are same. Basically, you have to know the author. You have to know the year. Okay. So I'll show one. I'll show how to do. There are two types of citation. One is direct and another is indirect. Okay. So what is direct? And indirect also there are two types. One, you are paraphrasing someone else's idea, and 2, you are putting the sentence as it is. So you see, first example, Colonia 2020 defines paraphrasing as rewriting a source's idea into your own words without changing its meaning. Okay, so here what I have done, that this Colonia or whoever the author is, what she has written, I have not used her exact word, but I have paraphrased in my own word. But because it is her idea, I have given the citation. This is name and this is the year. Okay, so I have provided the citation. But if I am using words as it is, according to Colonia 2020, if you insert a source's word into your writing verbatim, use quotation mark around the text to denote that the words aren't your own, but you are using exact word of the author. So here you can see this highlighted. जितना exact words का part है उतना quotation mark में डाला है. And here one more change is there. Here author and here is there. Here when you are using direct quotation, you have to do page number. You have to say exactly कहाँ से तुम लोगों ने चोरी नहीं मैं बोल रहा हूँ, inspiration from where you have taken this sentence, that exact page number. Otherwise it will be very difficult. 1000 pages का book है, वहाँ मैं कहाँ ढूंढते बैठूँ कि ये कहाँ है. Now it is not difficult. PDF you can control F कर दिया तो मिल जाता है. But all these rules and regulations, these styles were developed there. All these equipments were not available. So you had to put it in quotation mark to indicate that you are using someone else's words. Exactly. Here I had to give a reference only to indicate that I am using someone else's idea, but in my own words. I have paraphrased it in my own words. So this is direct sentence. This is what is direct. Miss van der Rohe says, less is more. So here I am directly quoting Miss van der Rohe. So this is direct citation. But what is indirect citation? Here also I am for these 2 examples. Author is outside bracket. I am directly putting that author defines paraphrasing or according to author XYZ, blah 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 blah. So I am quoting the author directly, whether it is paraphrased or direct quotation, but I am quoting the author directly. So it is direct citation. And what is indirect citation? Indirect citation means you put author in the bracket. You write the sentence and you don't say, okay, X author says blah blah blah. You just put that idea and you give the credit. So this is indirect citation. Understand? I hope this is clear. I think these are the principles, but you will have to do it hands-on. When you will start writing about it, I think you will understand it. When you will use it, because this is very simple. And in words or other software, it becomes more simple. So you don't have to think much. Only thing is, you will have to understand the principle, what is citation, how to use it. Because you cannot believe all the software which are available. I have used Mendeley, I have used Word, I have used other software also. But what happens inadvertently, the citation or references, whatever this software, they actually give output, you have to check it again and again, because many a times wrong information is fed in all this PDF or whatever their database, and then you don't know how the citation works, and you will not be able to correct it. So even if software has given output कि ऐसा citation आ गया, मैंने word को command दिया and then the citation comes, but I will have to check कि मैंने यही document use किया है ना. डॉक्यूमेंट होगा 1857 का, लेकिन मैंडले मुझे देगा 2020 क्योंकि किसी ने उसके डेटाबेस पे 2020 दिया है. दैट इज रॉन्ग. सो आई विल हैव टू क्रॉस चेक वेदर सॉफ्टवेयर में जो भी साइटेशन एंड पैराफ्रेजिंग, रेफरेंसिंग, बिब्लियोग्राफी, व्हाटएवर सॉफ्टवेयर प्रोड्यूसेस, whether it is correct or it is not correct, you yourself have to check. And to check, you have to understand that. That is why it is important to understand. Don't believe software; they are still dumb. AI, it is not intelligent. AI is artificial dumbness, I will say. It is not artificial intelligence. It is the most dumb thing at this moment. It will become more what I will say, intelligent day by day, but at this moment they are dumb. They don't understand. They will produce whatever जो आपका command है, they just produce it without thinking. Okay, so basically यहाँ एक ही चीज आपको देखना है कि when you are giving quotation mark में direct words you are using, you have to give the page number also. In some styles, page numbers are given in this thing also. In text citation में भी देते हैं, but that depends on style to style. Now, if you have so many authors, तो क्या करेंगे? सिर्फ सर, हर्षद सर है आपके author, one author है, तो भाटिया here, okay? ये आपका ये हो गया indirect citation. और direct citation ये होगा कि भाटिया in bracket 2009 argues that XYZ, blah blah blah. So whatever भाटिया सर का argument है आपको when you are writing in this type, this is direct citation. भाटिया सर को ब्रैकेट में डाल दिया तो then it is indirect citation. So two authors है कि for example Farhat and Bhatia sir, they are writing one document. So then I will have to write both Bhatia, Kazi and then उन्होंने year जो भी है whenever they have produced published जब हुआ है that year. And then when I am doing direct citation, then I will have to say according to Bhatia and Kazi in bracket here blah 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 blah. तीन ऑथर है, से फॉर एग्जांपल प्रियंका भी हमको ज्वाइन हो गई, तो भाटिया, सौरभ बर्डे एंड प्रियंका ले, मैं तीनों को साइट की इनडायरेक्ट साइटेशन में एंड पुट द ईयर एंड देन आई से कि रिसर्च बाय भाटिया, बर्डे एंड डेली शोज दैट ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला, तो दिस इज दैट. लेकिन तीन से ज्यादा है तो फिर ये सब आप यही करते बैठेंगे तो आपका ये रेफरेंसिंग से ही आपका डॉक्यूमेंट पूरा भर जाएगा. In that case, if the authors are more than 3, then you have to use ETAL, etal. Okay? So just say, बर्वे etal. श्रुति के साथ पूरा क्लास में काम किया है आपके फोर्थ ईयर में, but you cannot quote 60 people's name here. So you say बर्वे etal. ETAL. Okay? Or if it is direct citation, बर्वे मतलब, so you have to write this name. And sometimes what happens कि Rizvi College ने as an institution they have come up with some documents. So there is no one particular author. In that case, author की जगह you can quote, you can say author की जगह the organization which has conducted this research, you have to put University of Mumbai. अगर Rizvi College of Architecture ने research किया है, you can say Rizvi College of Architecture. Information from University of Mumbai in bracket states that XYZ. It is very simple, and it is why it is simple because all this information is readily available on internet. The only thing is you have to be literate in this. You have to know what we are talking about so that authentic information you will select. Because internet may be nothing is authentic many times. You will get n number of documents which are rubbish. So you have to understand the document you are reading, whether it is correct or it is not correct. And that you will know if you are literate about it. अभी आपका basic मालूम है, तो आपको रटना नहीं है ये सब कुछ. You just have to know the principle. Then information पे बहुत सारी information है available, you can still. Once you are literate, once you can differentiate 1, 2, 3 number, then it is very easy for you to graduate in statistics. But आपको 1, 2, 3, 4 ही नहीं मालूम, तो आप स्टैटिस्टिक में पीएचडी क्या करोगे? That is why just understand the basic. Don't try to रटो मत ये. Just understand the basic principles of it.
Meera, sorry to interrupt you. We are just running short of time, so we have
Okay.
a lot of question answers in the chat box, so we need to also address them.
So okay, so 5 minutes I'll just close it.
Yeah, please.
Maybe I can have one workshop again for.
Yeah, that would be great.
That will be better. वो थोड़ा ज़्यादा भी हो जाएगा बच्चों को. Okay, so these are examples कि अगर book है तो how you cite it. Okay, if book with one or more author है तो आपका full reference कैसे है? Earlier what we were talking about, they were in text citation. In text मतलब आपके document में जो आता है, I was talking about that. Now this is full reference. Full reference मतलब bibliography. So if your book is there with one or more author, so what you have to do? Surname, initial of first author, मतलब Bhatia, H, Barve, S, then 2020. Okay, then title of book. कि Rizvi College of Architecture and Psychology of Student in Rizvi College of Architecture. Maybe a book. Okay, then place of publication. Publisher. So you have to give all this information when you are writing the record. So this is called as full record. So you have book with one or more author. If it is a chapter, see basically आपको क्या करना है? Author का information देना है, publisher का information देना है, place and publishing का date. But when book is edited, then editor is also very important. So you will have to include editor as well as कितना edition है. I mean भाटिया सर का अगर 5वां edition शुरू है आपके book का, you will have to say this is 5th edition. So that information has to be there in your references. Okay. So author, title. If it is edited, then you have to say edited. Title of. So when you are talking about chapter, then वो किस book में है, वो भी आपको देना है. Then place of publication, page number of the whole. Okay, so ये example दिए हुए हैं. If it is journal article, what you have to do? Journal का भी कहाँ है? Journal, which journal it is published? Okay, volume number क्या है? Take for example, Barve S and Lele P, 2018. Landscape Lawrence, Green Thumb. मतलब landscape. If I am seeing this here, landscape Laurel is their article. Shrutika और प्रियंका Lele. Green Thumb is the journal. ये सब फिक्चर्स है, एक्चुअल नहीं है. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एग्जांपल. ग्रीन थंब इज द जर्नल एंड देन 14(1) इज द दिस थिंग जर्नल का वॉल्यूम नंबर एंड ये उनका पेज नंबर कौन सा है उनका 32 to 43 पे उनका आर्टिकल आया है. दिस इज इम्पोर्टेंट. एंड नाउ बिकॉज ऑफ इंटरनेट अवेलेबिलिटी nowadays available at Rizvi College of rizviarchitecture.edu.in. You have to give URL. Now, earlier they used to give, they never used to give, but now it is available. And this is most important. ये सब तो पुराना हो गया है. Earlier they used to have only hard copies, so that they had to give all this information. Nowadays, everything is available with the click. So here, this has become the most important part. ये available at which website and then आपने access कब किया. इसका मतलब ये है कि that document is there, I have access to it today. After 6 months, they may revise that document. Then in that case, authenticity of my document should not lose. That is why I will have to put the date stamp. मैंने ये जून में रेफर किया था, उन्होंने उसका एडिशन, they have edited that article, or Rizvi College of Architecture have edited that article after 6 months. So still my data, my article is valid. That is why you have to give this access of June 2020 आपको देना पड़ता है. Web page. So how you are going to cite the web page? This is the report है. तो आपको report कैसे करना है? Report में organization, title of report. I mean, it is same. You have to give author. You have to give newspaper article. Newspaper article में भी आपको author देना है, published year देना है, title of article देना है, newspaper name, day and month. Your day and month दोनों देते हैं. Now there are little nuances. For example, when we are talking about a book, book का author जो है, you give surname first and then your name, initial of name. But when you are talking about editors, editor का first name पहले देते हैं and surname बाद में. So these are minor nuances. ये तो पहली बार तो आपको नहीं पता चलेगा. ये इसमें दिया हुआ है, but then we are running short, so we cannot do it each and every article. So there are little nuances. those you will understand when you are actually working. For example, newspaper में कोई राजेंद्र अकलेकर ने कोई आर्टिकल लिखा है, so when I am talking about the newspaper, Aklekar R is the author. Central Railway and the Plague of 1942 is the article. Mumbai Mirror is the newspaper. 4th April is the date of publication and then available at URL and make of access key. So this information will have to be. And अगर कोई author है नहीं, उनके staff ने लिखा हुआ है, you have to just give Mumbai Mirror. You don't have to give author. Same thing happens with organizations. So principle is same for everything. Importantly, आप लोग जो thesis करते हैं, student, even if it is not published outside, but once you submit it and you pass it, it is considered as publication. Then ये भी आपको, whether it is published or unpublished, if you are referring कि last year के जो बच्चे हैं, उसमें से अगर किसी का thesis आपने refer किया है, तो आपको उसका उनको due credit देना है. Thesis और dissertation, how you have given reference, ये भी इसमें दिया हुआ है. How you give due credit to thesis. So thesis भी important है. If you are actually referring to the last year's thesis, please cite, please give due credit to that student. ये मत सोचो कि ये eminent author नहीं है, so मैं उसका idea चुरा लेता हूँ. Don't do that. अगर conference presentation में से आपने कुछ, for example, भाटिया sir has presented, अपने epic में कुछ present किया, उसमें से आपको कुछ quote करना है, you can quote conference presentation also. So everything you can quote it. उसका ये if you are using feelings, कुछ होता है, मैं student ऐसे depict किए हैं, ये मेरा अगर, और फिर उनके architecture film refer करिए. In that case, I am referring, मैं reference film का भी दे सकती हूँ. या TV serial, Game of Thrones में ABC होता है, या whatever अभी जो भी latest आपकी serial शुरू है. तो अगर सीरियल में से भी आपने कुछ कोट किया है या रेफरेंस किया है, you can quote film, you can quote serial, you can quote episode of TV serial. So that is all. It is mandatory. जो भी. Now, for all the sites, there are n number of sites. So सारी sites के guides available. I just, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, it is not very difficult at all how to cite and how to give reference. Every information is available. Only to understand the principle. इसलिए I will not go in. These are all clickable links. I can click it, but I mean there are hundreds, so I will not click it now. मुझे गणेश सर ने already warn किया है कि I have to finish it.
नहीं मैम, already we are running short of 10 minutes.
Basically, I mean every style, they are giving their information, and you have to just see their information and refer it properly. Howard ने भी very nicely they have detected what is necessary if we are using their style. What is the format of their reference? Okay, or they give examples also. These are all screenshots. They are clickable links, but I will not click. And then how to find the information. So अगर आप कोई article refer करते हैं, you get all these information. कि कहाँ, author कहाँ, page number कहाँ find out. This information is also available. Okay, so there are so many styles, and one important part I wanted to tell you. Generally क्या होता है कि if you are researching, then you are referring 70, 80 books, 50, 60 books. In that case, basically ये chart है. उन्होंने सारा information उन्होंने करके रखा. So आप भी एक notebook बनाइए या soft copy, and this information please start noting it down. Only thing is you don't need all this information. जो मैंने highlight किया है, only that information is more than sufficient. इसमें, if you see this abstract, there is something called as annotated bibliography. If you have to give annotated bibliography, in that case, every reference का छोटा सा आपके concept को जो suit करता है, whatever related to your concept, that note you have to provide of 150 words. That is why whatever concept you have referred from that page, छोटा सा abstract और annotated bibliography बनाने का inculcate the habit जो मैंने यहाँ दिखाया है. And then this much information जो highlight किया है, this much information is enough. हालांकि ये सारे information available है. तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैंने ये दिया है कि मैं अगर बनाऊंगी एक नोटबुक तो मैं क्या क्या ये करूंगी कि मुझे साइटेशन ये सब देना है, तो फिर सरनेम नेम ये सब ऐड कीप ऑन, मैं एक चार्ट बनाऊंगी और ये सब ऐड करती जाऊँ. So you can do all this thing in Mendeley or Word also. So I think I will not click any more links or all these things. So I think this is the introduction for plagiarism and referencing. Any questions? Thank you so much for listening patiently.
Thank you, ma'am.